Elon Musk and 50 Cent just lit a match that's got the whole industry on edge. The claim flying around is that Diddy isn't really the boss. He's more like a front, a loud distraction in a way. And if these allegations are even halfway true, the person really calling shots makes past exposure lists look small by comparison. If you thought Diddy was the final boss, people are saying you might have been staring at the wrong blueprint this whole time. Elon Musk isn't just tossing opinions anymore. Word is he's allegedly linking up with 50 Cent to question who's actually been steering this massive machine behind closed doors. And this is where it gets wild. While 50 has been making noise about the parties and pushing his documentary angle, Elon is rumored to be sitting on something way heavier. We're talking data, receipts, and reported access to massive amounts of private DMs from Twitter, now X, that could expose how deep industry connections really go. The story being painted looks like a three-level power pyramid. At the bottom, people point fingers at big-name artists like Jay-Z and Beyonce. In the middle, the talk shifts to heavyweight industry figures such as Oprah and Clive Davis. And at the very top, there's supposedly one name nobody expected, someone said to be hiding in plain sight this whole time. According to these claims, this isn't just about music or record labels anymore. The conversation stretches into influence, image, and even moral authority, and 50 Cent has been loudly questioning it for months. What comes next is being framed as something that could flip a lot of beliefs upside down.
That they gave me a raw deal because this industry is a monster. It's the same monster that these Me Too trying to tell you about. But they hate the monster for how it, and I hate that monster for how it eats. But my God, man, it's the same monster. When I quit the show, all my friends would say, well, look, them Dave, why don't you just do Chappelle's show at another network? Yeah. And why doesn't a slave run from one plantation to another plantation because the master over there might be nicer? My God, man, I was trapped. You know what? Tell you the truth. I've even thought about coming back and doing another Chappelle show. Well, but if I do...
Before we climb this pyramid, you gotta understand why Diddy's case matters way beyond hip-hop. This isn't about a career breakdown or background stats. It's about what people actually clicked for. As most already know, 50 Cent dropped his Diddy documentary titled The Reckoning because nobody else in the industry was willing to speak up. According to the narrative being pushed, people stayed quiet for 3 reasons: fear, involvement, or pressure from higher up. And 50 said something that really hit different. He warned that staying silent would make it look like all of hip-hop was co-signing Diddy's alleged behavior. With no one else stepping forward, 50 felt forced to be the loud one.
How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing. I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs.
This is where the story turns heavy.
Have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through. That changes now, Sean. You have no choice. That Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter. They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly.
Diddy allegedly had around 250 hidden cameras inside his home. Yeah, that number shocked a lot of people. These cameras were said to be running during those so-called private parties. Industry figures like Jaguar Wright and Gene Deal have claimed this setup wasn't just for entertainment. The footage was allegedly kept as leverage, a form of protection to maintain control. That's how the power stayed locked in place. That's how people were kept quiet. Now there are reports saying these tapes are being quietly passed around Hollywood, and certain big names are feeling real pressure. So why does Elon Musk entering the picture flip the entire situation? Because Elon owns X, formerly known as Twitter. That means access to years of private DMs involving celebrities, executives, and politicians. And this doesn't stop with artists. It reaches straight into industry power players. When Elon Musk sat down with Joe Rogan, he didn't dance around the topic or just tease it. He directly questioned people by name.
It's like the Diddy thing was like an Epstein type compromise deal where he had, whether he was doing it himself, conceivably, people want to think that he's attached to some intelligence agency or something like that. I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them. That's what I think. Whether or not he had help, I don't know. Whether or not he shared some of that information with people so they knew they had...
He brought up Jennifer Lopez, who's been publicly warning people about Trump, and Elon asked what nobody else dared to ask.
Compromising stuff on people, I don't know. But clearly he was doing it for his own jollies, too. There was something sick about it.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is that people in the music and entertainment industry had to know that Diddy was, like, abusing, kids, basically. And yet they still fed him kids. And, like, where's the accountability?
There had to be rumors. There had to be. They
had to know.
Yeah.
They had to know.
Cat Williams is talking about it on...
Exactly.
Yeah, on that podcast.
But like, who's feeding him the kids?
How many people did J-Lo actually warn about Diddy? Did she say anything? The answer he pointed out was simple. None. Not a single warning. And the detail that made people pause is that J-Lo was once Diddy's girlfriend.
Right, yeah. And what videos do they have of these people where they're willing to defend him and they're willing to keep quiet about all this? Like how many people were compromised?
Yeah.
The whole thing is fucking crazy.
Crazy.
It's just crazy when because the nutty conspiracy theories is like, oh, there's a bunch of pedophiles in Hollywood. And you're like, come on, that sounds too kooky. And then you see like the Nickelodeon thing and all these, you're like.
Elon didn't sugarcoat it. He said maybe her opinions shouldn't be taken at face value. That one moment sent the internet into a spiral because it raised an uncomfortable question. If someone that close to Diddy never spoke up, what does that really mean? Either she truly didn't know, which many find hard to believe, or she knew and chose silence. And if she stayed quiet, people are asking why. Was she protecting her image, her position, or someone else entirely? Now the pyramid starts to come into focus. Level 1 is Jay-Z and Beyonce, and before anyone says they're being placed too low, just wait until you hear who's above them. Jaguar Wright went on Piers Morgan and said things she claims she wasn't supposed to say. She made allegations involving Jay-Z and Diddy that many believe the industry wanted buried and forgotten. And then something strange happened right after that interview dropped. The episode was pulled just 48 hours after going live, taken down, banned, wiped clean. Jaguar Wright had asked a question that left a lot of people stuck. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King on CBS and not get asked a single question about the alleged connections involving him, Aaliyah, and R. Kelly? How does an interview like that even happen without addressing the obvious topic in the room? Jaguar openly questioned it. She claimed both Diddy and Jay-Z held what she described as a tight grip on the industry for decades. Then there's the Aaliyah theory that refuses to fade away, a theory many people online still debate to this day. Some believe Aaliyah was getting too close to Jay-Z, and that made certain people uncomfortable. Jaguar Wright alleged that Jay-Z was responsible for Aaliyah being placed on an unsafe plane. She framed it as retaliation, claiming Aaliyah rejected him and was pushed out of the way so Beyonce could rise at a time when her career was still building.
Think about this. Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane, to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige.
Now to be clear, none of this has been proven, and these remain allegations and theories. But what keeps people talking is that Jay-Z has never publicly addressed these claims. And to many observers, that silence feels loud. Here's another detail that raised eyebrows.
Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened, and yet they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it.
When Diddy faced charges and alleged victims began filing lawsuits, one familiar name appeared. Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's personal attorney, reportedly began representing some of the individuals connected to the Diddy cases. That's when people started asking questions. Why is Jay-Z's lawyer suddenly involved so deeply in matters tied to Diddy? Insiders are claiming this is about silencing accusers and controlling the narrative before even more names come out. The idea being pushed is that if Diddy starts talking and naming names, a lot of powerful figures could fall with him, and Jay-Z allegedly doesn't want that scenario unfolding. And you can't talk about Jay-Z's rise without bringing up Big L. Big L was the one who helped open doors for Jay-Z. He introduced him to Dame Dash, which led to early Rockefeller Records discussions. Negotiations were reportedly starting for Big L and his crew to land a deal. Then, just days after those talks began, Big L was killed in a drive-by shooting in Harlem. The case remains unsolved to this day.
That's suing Tony Busby. Spiro is a partner, and Alex Spiro is Jay-Z's personal lawyer.
Oh, so it's probably Jay-Z then that's doing the suing.
Of course they'd use Kevin's name,
Why
but
did
it
the-
ain't Kevin. Why is Alex Spiro popping up everywhere?
What do you think is going on in Hollywood right now? What are you hearing? Because I'm hearing
Mass panic. Mass
Everyone-
panic.
So because no one's talking publicly.
No, it
But
can't.
Jaguar Wright has claimed Big L's death was the first in a string of unexplained losses that surrounded Jay-Z's climb to power. Coincidence, maybe. But when people start connecting dots, the pattern feels hard to ignore.
That's why they came up with the story. Well, you know, there's a party inside the Diddy party, and I went to the first party, but I left early. I never made it to Diddy After Dark. There were public relations teams right after Diddy got arrested running around telling everyone to say that.
Of course.
The question is this. If all you went to was the first party and you didn't know anything about the After Dark, why would you say, I left early? Why wouldn't you just say you left when the party ended?
Exactly.
Because how would you know?
Now the story moves up to level 2, where things turn even darker.
There was another party
Exactly.
if you weren't informed.
Exactly.
If you went to the Diddy party and nothing happened and it was the first party, your speech wouldn't be, oh, well, I only went to the first party. I
Right.
didn't go to the after party. You wouldn't say that because you wouldn't have known about
Exactly.
it. You would say, I don't know what anybody's talking about. I went to Diddy's party. It was a white party. It was dancing. It was wild. But at the end, we all went home.
Right.
That's not what y'all are saying.
Nope.
You're saying, I didn't go to the second party. I only went to the first. The only thing you're proving is that you're hiding being there
Yeah.
because you wouldn't have known about another
Exactly.
party.
This level focuses on Oprah Winfrey and Clive Davis, figures often described as power brokers in entertainment. Starting with Oprah, she's been photographed multiple times with Harvey Weinstein, and these weren't quick or random moments. She supported his projects and appeared alongside him at major events, even when rumors about Harvey were already circulating in Hollywood. Many survivors hoped someone with Oprah's reach would speak up. Instead, she stayed silent, and that silence led people to believe she was protecting the system rather than challenging it. Then there's the South Africa school controversy tied to Oprah, and this part raised serious questions. Oprah invested around $40 million into a girls' school in South Africa, a project she described as part of her legacy. But within months of opening, several students accused a dorm matron, Virginia Makubo, of inappropriate conduct, and the situation quickly spiraled into headlines. Oprah flew in, dismissed staff members, and addressed the situation publicly while showing visible emotion on camera. Still, critics argued the explanation left gaps and didn't fully add up. The question people continue to ask is simple but heavy. Did Oprah know more than she admitted?
Next thing you know, she's fucking Ray J. And then it's
that
Grammy
happened.
time.
That happened.
And her and Clive had a fight 2 days before. And from what I was told, Bobby Christina was present for some of that fight. And then the next thing you know, she's dead. Ray J was the last person to see her alive. He let the drug dealer in, but she was sober, right? But he let the drug dealer in that gave her the shot. Leola Brown, Bobby Brown's sister, has said on several occasions that she was beaten. They saw her body. She didn't just die in a tub, like she was beat up.
Now, older photos are resurfacing, showing Oprah attending private industry events where Diddy was also present. Commentators like Jaguar Wright and Dr. Umar Johnson have suggested Oprah holds quiet but serious influence in Hollywood, the kind of influence that makes people hesitant to challenge her, the kind that can end careers with a single call. Next up is Clive Davis, and his name carries decades of weight in the music business. At 92 years old, Clive has been embedded in the industry for generations. He founded Arista Records in 1974 and helped launch careers for legends like Billy Joel, Janis Joplin, and Carlos Santana. Clive publicly came out as bisexual years ago, and this is where some controversial claims enter the conversation. Hip-hop figure Suge Knight has alleged for years that Clive Davis and Diddy were more than just mentor and protege. Suge claimed Clive told him directly that he and Puff were extremely close, and when pressed, allegedly said they were lovers, not just business partners.
Favorite memory working with Diddy?
You know, personally, I've got to tell you, he really is a major star in this film tonight. He's his spokesman all the way through. I met him before I ever knew of him. I met him when he was 21 years old. And when we met, you know, he played me Craig Mack Flavor in Your Ear. He played me 3 cuts from the forthcoming Notorious B.I.G. album. And we talked for hours and hours about music, and I poured into his dream. And I financed Bad Boy Records. And we had an incredible run, an incredible period.
When a reporter tried to question Clive Davis about Diddy at a public event, the reaction caught everyone's attention. Clive reportedly became visibly uncomfortable and refused to answer anything at all.
1993, he and Clive Davis founded Bad Boy Records. Clive Davis, how do you describe Clive Davis? There's an infomercial about him now, which is a document. It's being called a documentary, and it makes him look like this benign octogenarian that's helped all these rock stars with their careers. But people in the music industry really don't like Clive Davis, most of them. And his criminality is...
For many watching, that moment alone raised more questions than answers. Then there's the long-running Whitney Houston theory that still circulates today. Some people believe Ray J and Clive Davis were connected to events surrounding Whitney's death. Whitney allegedly had a major argument with Clive just 2 days before she passed away, and reports claim her daughter was present during that confrontation. Ray J was said to be the last person to see Whitney alive. Allegations have circulated for years claiming he allowed a drug dealer into her room, leading to the fatal situation. Members of Whitney's family, including Bobby Brown's sister, have claimed Whitney showed signs of physical harm and didn't simply pass away in a bathtub as the official account states. These claims remain allegations, but they continue to fuel public speculation. That leads to a question many people keep asking. With so many rumors and accusations surrounding Clive Davis over decades, why has he never been arrested or formally charged? Some believe Diddy is being positioned as the fall guy, taking the pressure to shield Clive, who they say has stayed hidden behind the scenes this whole time. Now we reach the very top of the pyramid, and this is the name people say no one expected. Bishop T.D. Jakes. Yes, a pastor, a religious leader, a man who preaches to massive congregations every week. 50 Cent has been hinting at T.D. Jakes for months through repeated social media posts. The theory circulating is simple but explosive. If corruption has truly reached the pulpit, then people believe this alleged blackmail network goes far beyond the music industry and even bigger than past high-profile scandals. The claim being pushed is that Diddy needed legitimacy, a way to clean up his image and shield himself from scrutiny. He needed someone respected, trusted, and untouchable to give him cover, and people allege that's where T.D. Jakes comes into the picture. In part 4 of 50 Cent's Diddy documentary, viewers noticed something that didn't feel accidental. Clips of T.D. Jakes were placed strategically throughout the episode. When Lil Rod described waking up sore after attending Diddy's parties, the scene abruptly cut to T.D. Jakes speaking about going on what he called a love rampage. Many believe 50 Cent added those clips intentionally as a signal. The message, according to viewers, was about connecting dots rather than spelling things out. Comedian Cat Williams had already warned about this kind of moment. He said that in 2024, every lie would be exposed, no matter who you are. Diddy, T.D. Jakes, Jay-Z, no one would be exempt.
Watch as Cat Williams calls out Bishop T.D. Jakes, and watch as T.D. Jakes
was later confronted about the Diddy-related allegations. His response sent shockwaves online. He reportedly brushed it off by saying, "Keep it moving." He then added that even if everything were true, all he would need to do is repent. He said there was enough power in the blood to cover all sins, but also stated he didn't even need to repent over this. The internet reacted instantly. Many people argued that an innocent person doesn't speak in those terms. They said an innocent man denies accusations outright, not hypothetically talks about repentance. Jaguar Wright then made additional explosive claims involving T.D. Jakes. She said if Bishop Jakes was ever present at a Diddy party, there were only two possible reasons: money or participation. She also claimed Cassie turned over large amounts of evidence to federal authorities, including alleged videos and audio recordings from Diddy's parties. According to these claims, the materials reportedly involve powerful politicians, artists, and entertainers in situations they never expected to become public.
Only be two reasons: money or sex. That's all that happens at Diddy parties: money and sex.
Cassie has turned over substantial amounts of evidence to the feds. I'm told that after Cassie had a long conversation with blank, I have to protect this person. They're going through a lot right now. And her lawyers, she finally was convinced to give up the videotapes and audio recordings that contain footage.
Here's the part many people found deeply unsettling, and it's important to frame this carefully. Jaguar Wright claimed that several adult male escorts have come forward saying they attended parties where T.D. Jakes was allegedly present and involved in inappropriate behavior. These remain claims and have not been proven, but they have circulated widely online. There are also allegations involving a young man who says he was harmed years ago and has now retained legal representation. According to reports shared by commentators, this individual is preparing civil action and says he wants accountability now that he's an adult. Church insiders have alleged that his family was offered money years ago to remain silent, a claim that has not been verified and remains disputed. The narrative continues with Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, who also spoke publicly about the situation.
Diddy and T.D. Jakes.
Man, what I think about it is this, when I grew up in the church, the sinners was not supposed to have the same atmosphere with the saints. You have to be able to separate the two. So I'm looking at him as a saint going to a party that ain't nothing but sin, drinking, maybe fornication.
Gene questioned why a religious leader would be present at gatherings where heavy drinking and adult activity were openly happening. He said it was difficult to explain unless that person was directly involved in the environment at those events.
Man on man, woman on woman, he on she. But maybe he'd have to lay some hands on somebody. Maybe he'd have to save some souls. I know he got a contract with Revolt, so I'm just like, it's just real strange that he would be found at any kind of Diddy party or any kind of place with Diddy unless it's in a business atmosphere.
So why do you think he was going to these parties?
I think that he's going to the Diddy parties, bruh. If he's going, well, we know he's going to the Diddy parties, and I know that I know what usually happens at the Diddy party, or what we told us happened at the Diddy parties. Maybe he needs to see it for himself, man. Maybe he needs to go there and really be involved in some things that could help save some individuals while they go into those parties.
Gene also claimed he's heard that recordings may surface in the future. According to him, if those materials ever become public, speculation would be replaced with documented proof. As of now, no such evidence has been confirmed or released. Now the discussion shifts to something even larger, what some call the Epstein-style connection. When Elon Musk appeared on Joe Rogan's podcast, the conversation wasn't limited to Diddy. They also discussed why certain billionaires publicly support Kamala Harris, and Elon suggested it wasn't strictly about political policy. According to this theory, what we're seeing right now is pure panic. The belief is that if Trump were to win, sealed Epstein-related records could be reopened, and that would put some of the richest and most powerful people on the planet under a spotlight they can't escape. Joe Rogan pressed Elon Musk on this during their conversation. He asked whether LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman appeared uncomfortable during discussions around Epstein-linked topics. Elon answered with just one word, yes. Rogan then drew a comparison that stopped people cold.
Diddy thing was like an Epstein-type compromise deal where he had, whether he was doing it himself, conceivably, people want to think that he's attached to some intelligence agency or something like that. I think he's a gangster who made $1 billion and knew how to control people by compromising them. That's what I think. Whether or not he had help, I don't know. Whether or not he shared some of that information with people so they knew they had compromising stuff on people, I don't know.
He likened Diddy's alleged operation to Epstein's so-called compromise strategy. The claim is that both allegedly documented influential figures in compromising situations and then used that material as leverage to maintain control. That raises a disturbing question many people keep asking. Who was supplying Diddy with vulnerable individuals, and how many influential names are allegedly tied to whatever evidence exists? These questions remain unanswered, but they continue to circulate. Melinda Gates added another layer to the conversation years ago. She revealed that one of the main reasons she left Bill Gates was his connection to Jeffrey Epstein, and this was after Epstein's conviction was already public. Melinda has said she met Epstein once and described the experience as deeply unsettling. If that connection alone was enough for her to walk away from one of the most powerful men in the world, people wonder what she may have known or witnessed long before the public did. It forces people to think about how much has stayed hidden in plain sight. Dave Chappelle once tried to warn people about this exact thing. He said the entertainment industry is a monster, the same kind of monster that movements like Me Too were created to confront and expose. When people asked Dave Chappelle why he didn't just take Chappelle's show to another network, his answer stopped everyone cold. He said, "Why would a slave run from one plantation to another plantation just because the master there might be nicer when you're still a slave?" Dave openly admitted he felt trapped inside the system. And if someone as powerful, wealthy, and respected as Dave Chappelle felt boxed in, what does that say about everyone else trying to survive in that same industry? This story is nowhere near finished. More names are expected to surface, more alleged evidence could come out, and more uncomfortable truths may be exposed. The question now is simple but heavy. Do you think TD Jakes is really at the top of this pyramid, or is there an even bigger name hiding in the shadows that hasn't been uncovered yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let your voice be heard. If this breakdown had you thinking, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with someone who needs to see it, and comment your take below. Your support helps keep these conversations alive and growing. And trust this, the next video goes even deeper. We'll be breaking down more major names, more industry connections, and more patterns people can't ignore anymore. This is only the beginning, and we'll be here covering every twist, every claim, and every development as it unfolds.